and welcome to In This Week's Oban Times with me, Kathy Griffith.
Me, Fiona Scott.
Me, Alice Butcher.
And almost here,
And
Stevie.
I was going to say, and in the background, we've got Stevie, our wonderful IT whiz guy. Hi, Stevie.
Hello, how are we all?
We're all okay. How is everyone?
Wonderful.
Brilliant.
Yeah, team cheer.
Maybe I could explain for the listening viewer that the hilarity is that this is take 4. Everyone keeps disappearing from our system.
We're all here now, though.
Fingers crossed. Long may it last. So we've had yet another busy week. Delighted to say we spoke to people at the hospital in Oban this week, and they've been giving us a very important message that they want to share with everybody. First of all, massive, huge thanks for all the well wishes, donations, all the lovely kind thoughts that have been going their way. That's hugely appreciated. But part of the message is to let us know, it's very reassuring that they're very confident that they are coping well with COVID-19. They've got more staff there. They've been bolstered by amazing junior doctors who have volunteered their services. We've got people who have either come back from retirement or are postponing retirement to stay on and share their skills and look after the community. We've even got a viral specialist, a guy who worked abroad with Ebola patients. So, there's so much skill, so much expertise there. But the message is you really don't need to be scared. If you come down with what you think might be COVID, you're going to be in safe hands. They're going to look after you. Now, of course, if you do need intensive care, if you do need that kind of level of help, you will be transferred to Glasgow. But they are well set up in Oban. They will do their best to look after you. So we really want people to know that. Now, there's also some practical advice there as well, because, of course, life has to go on at the hospital. They've effectively split it into 2 parts, red for COVID, green for non-COVID. A&E, if you do need help from accident and emergency, that help is still there. But you must, if you can, you must ring NHS 111. Obviously tell them what's wrong with you, and then you'll be given a time to turn up, and they'll tell you the place to turn up so you can be met and guided through and looked after. Outpatients, a lot of those appointments have been postponed, but there's still things like CT scans and investigations going on. So again, that is happening. So if you do have a serious health problem, or if there is something that's worrying you, there are people to talk to about that. Now, as far as numbers go, we have been trying really hard for you to find out exactly the number of cases that we've had confirmed in our area. We want to know the people who are being diagnosed with it, the people who are being treated, maybe the numbers of people who've gone to Glasgow for intensive care, and of course those who are on their way to recovery now. But we can't get that. The hospital hasn't been sanctioned to give us that information. The only numbers we're getting are the numbers from NHS Highland. And as from yesterday there were 168 cases confirmed in the whole of that area. So we'll do our best to we'll keep asking the questions, and hopefully at some point we'll be able to get that information for you. Now, still keeping on the COVID theme, we've still got second homers turning up in our area. And I know the police were out and about on the Inverary Road the other day, stopping cars at random, making sure that those who are journeying on the road have real essential reason to be there. So, Alice, have you been staying put this week? I hope you're not one of those non-essential journeyers. You've not been to Inverary, have you, for a day out?
I don't even leave my bedroom.
Good. Best place for you.
Absolutely.
In there. That or the boiler room.
That's every time you step outside, it's a risk as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'm going to be moving into the wardrobe next, I think.
That's somebody else.
Someone did tell me you were feasting on langoustines and lamb over Easter, though.
We ate like kings and queens at Easter weekend. It was fantastic.
Wow. Jealous. What did I have? Can't even remember. Can't have been that. Probably more pasta, I think.
Exploded eggs.
Exploded eggs.
and burnt soup.
And burnt soup.
Yeah.
No, do you know what? Maybe during the conversation I'll remember what I cooked, but at the moment it's completely beyond. So what have you been working on, Ellis? When you've not been hiding in your bedroom, what have you been working on?
Well, I've really tapped into the general mood at the minute, because there are, of course, lots of people out there across Oban and everywhere across the nation that are all feeling a bit fed up. We're 4 weeks in. We've watched every film that we wanted to watch. We've done every little household DIY job that needed doing. And people are getting frustrated with the restrictions, although they fully understand why they're in place. So we've got a lovely story this week of how a local DJ in Oban called Paul Harvey and his other half, Michelle McDougall, they decided to come up with an idea of how could they unite their community without actually breaking these social distancing rules. And essentially what they've done is they've managed to pull off a brilliant lockdown party. Now, it's not all just been online. Paul's actually a resident DJ, and he's dragged his DJ decks and his fog light and his strobe machine out into the back garden, and others along in their gardens have been able to come out and listen to the music. And let's just be clear about this. He's got a 2,000 watt speaker, so
Whoa.
Pretty much everyone. I think they could hear it in Mull by the sound of things. But they had a great night, and it was just what everyone wanted. People respected the rules, nobody complained, and the music stopped at 10. But we've got chapter and verse on this amazing night for the people of this estate in Oban.
That sounds fantastic.
There's no doubt, is there? Now, you're going to have to remind me, folks, because is this take 3 or take 4? So I don't know if I mentioned it just now or in take 1 or take 2. But did I say how massively grateful the hospital staff are for all the wonderful gifts and donations and well wishes and messages that are coming their way? Because if I didn't mention it, I should have done. So there you go. Big thank you to everybody who's thinking of everyone at Oban Hospital, and so grateful for all the work they're doing.
Well, they deserve it mentioned twice anyway, Kathy. So if you did mention it earlier, that's fine.
Do you know what as well? Another important point here is to remember all of those supermarket and shop staff that are turning out day after day on their shifts, working at tills, stocking the shelves, doing the behind the scenes stuff. They've kind of been eclipsed in many ways by either fantastic work of the NHS and the police and all the other agencies. But let's not lose sight of the fact that if those supermarkets weren't operating and those people weren't turning up, we'd all be eating Kathy's exploded eggs, I think.
It could be worse.
That's right, and it's not just the supermarkets, it's the local butchers, the high street shops that sell food, the local village stores. All these guys are working so hard to make sure we're all fed and watered, and we can get a bottle of wine at the weekend.
There's so many small businesses that have kept the wheels turning, from butchers to accountants to law firms, you name it. There are loads of little companies out there that are still just carrying on regardless, while respecting the restrictions, but are keeping these services going. And it's really important that we use our local businesses.
Yeah, well done all. And that brings me on to, I've been speaking to a farmer on Isla this week who's came up with a novel way to thank the NHS. Is painted all his sheep in multicolours. So you know how they mark them when the sheep have the lambs, so that they know which lambs belong to which sheep. Well, he's done them in groups of rainbows. He's got groups of multicoloured spots.
Oh.
He's got thank you NHS in a group. So that's fantastic, and that's online as well as for people that are having to travel for essential work. They can see them in the field, but he's also got it online so everybody can see, and it's fantastic. And he was just saying that they've been really busy, that they're lambing at the moment. They're not able to get the staff they usually have. They usually bring in farm hands. They can't do that, so they're doing it all themselves. And he said he really hopes people remember what hard work the local farmers are doing through this time, and support them after this is finished, because it's a really important job they're doing, and people just sometimes don't realise.
Here.
Yeah.
More lamb for Alice's table. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh poor little lambs.
It sounds a balmy idea, and I thought you were joking when you said that a local farmer was painting his sheep, but well done him.
It's actually, he's Andrew Jones, but it's his girlfriend Sophie McGill, and the farmhand that they do have been doing all the painting, and they look like they've been having a ball. There's some quite creative sheep walking about an island at the moment.
Lovely.
Can I just say that
Yeah,
I got completely the wrong end of the stick when you were talking about this, and I just had visions of sheep posing and the farmer with his little easel and his palette and his little berry on top.
The Mona Fleecer.
Ellis.
Bad joke, Ellis.
Oh. So here at the Oban Times, we're always happy to hear from you and tell your stories and show your pictures and photos. So keep sending them in. You can get in touch with us by calling 01631 568 emailing editor@obantimes.co.uk, or messaging us on Facebook. You can pick up your copy of the OT from the supermarkets, petrol stations and newsagents. All our stories are free online to read at the moment during this crisis, and you can also get the whole digital package for a subscription at just £4.80 for 3 months. Bargain. There you go. Just thought I'd follow up the lamb joke.
Stop with the sheep.
I think I'd chop her off there, Stevie, if I were you.
You are in so much trouble.
Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, hey.